If coding bootcamps and universities actually taught you how to be a software engineer, why does every junior dev panic the moment they see real-world code? Maybe because they teach the wrong skills. Today, we're diving into the most overrated and underrated skills in software engineering. And trust me, by the end of this, you might just rethink your entire strategy. Let's go. For years, developers have been told that success means mastering every algorithm, learning every framework, and grinding leet code until their brain turns into a binary tree. But in reality, some of these skills don't matter nearly as much as people think. You don't need to memorize every algorithm and data structure. Sure, arrays and hash tables are fundamental, but when was the last time you manually implemented a red-black tree at work? Real-world software runs on libraries, frameworks, and cloud services. Knowing how to use them effectively is far more useful than reinventing them from scratch. And what about learning multiple programming languages? Being a polyglot sounds impressive, but if you can't actually build something useful, it doesn't matter. Companies would rather hire someone who deeply understands one or two languages than a developer who can write hello world in 10. Then there's the leet code obsession. FANG interviews love it, but let's be real. Most software jobs won't ask you to reverse a linked list on a whiteboard. Debugging production issues, understanding system design, and writing scalable code, that's what truly matters. And leet code grinding won't teach you that. And let's talk about personal projects. A portfolio full of to-do list apps in different frameworks might look like effort, but what hiring managers actually care about is impact. Can you build something scalable, maintainable, and useful? Can you contribute to an open source project or solve a real-world problem? That's what makes you stand out. Chasing every new framework is waste of time. React, Vue, Svelte, who cares? The best developers don't memorize tools. They master fundamentals, learn how web apps work, how data flows, how to architect scalable systems. Then you'll be ready for any tech stack. And finally, let's debunk the hustle culture myth. Working 80-hour weeks doesn't make you a better developer. It just makes you exhausted. The best engineers work smart, not hard. They automate repetitive tasks, write maintainable code, and prioritize effectively. So if all of that is overrated, what actually makes you a 10 times engineer? Let's talk about the skills that separate great developers from the rest. Reading and understanding existing code is one of the hardest and most valuable skills in software engineering. Writing new code is easy. Reading a 5-year-old undocumented mess and making sense of it, that's senior dev territory. And if you can explain complex concepts in simple terms, you're ahead of the game. The best developers don't just write code. They teach, explain, and collaborate. If you can break down async programming to a non-technical person without their eyes glazing over, you've unlocked an elite skill. Understanding business and product goals is another game changer. Great engineers don't blindly write code. They ask, why are we building this? Understanding the bigger picture helps you make smarter decisions and build software that actually solves problems. And then there's debugging. Anyone can write code, but not everyone can fix it when it mysteriously breaks at 2 a.m. Knowing how to trace logs, analyze errors, and troubleshoot efficiently is what separates juniors from seniors. Writing clean, maintainable code is another underrated superpower. Code that works is one thing, but code that others can understand and modify, that's what makes projects sustainable. Future you and your teammates will thank you for writing simple, well-structured code. Asking the right questions is another sign of a great engineer. Instead of blindly following instructions, the best devs ask, do we really need this feature? Is there a simpler way to solve this problem? Are we over-engineering this just to sound smart? And let's talk security. Most developers don't think about security until something goes wrong. SQL injections, unoptimized queries, API vulnerabilities. Knowing how to prevent these issues before they happen is an incredibly valuable skill. Version control mastery goes beyond get push origin main. If you know how to resolve merge conflicts, squash commits, and write meaningful commit messages, you make life easier for your entire team. And don't underestimate soft skills. You can be the smartest developer in the room, but if you can't communicate, take feedback, or collaborate, you won't get far. The best engineers balance IQ with EQ because software engineering is a team sport. And finally, knowing when not to code is as important as knowing how to code. Sometimes, the best solution isn't writing more code. It's simplifying the system, automating a manual process, or using an existing tool instead of reinventing the wheel. Over-engineering is the enemy of efficiency. The best developers aren't just code-writing machines. They think critically, communicate well, and focus on impact. Stop obsessing over trendy skills and start mastering the ones that actually make a difference. This was Code Wrap, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more no BS software engineering content. Catch you in the next one.